What's happening YouTube? It's Matt Faircloth. Welcome to the Mentorship Monday program. Like I said, my name is Matt. My company is the DeRosa Group, and we are a fully transparent real estate organization doing all kinds of awesome stuff like property renovations and apartment complexes and raising capital and all kinds of neat things. And we expose all this to you here on the YouTube channel and through our DeRosa Insiders program. You guys get full access to watch a growing real estate company so you can get your questions answered and see what companies like ours are doing to grow and expand in today's economy. Mentorship Monday is this program. This is every Monday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. And the way Mentorship Monday works is people email questions to helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. That is helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. And we get the questions answered right here on the show. You can join the show live. We have live guests on. You can chat with me and my team. It's a great opportunity for you guys to watch and learn. And if you are a contributor to Mentorship Monday, and all you gotta do is just email a good question. Pick up your cell phone right now and do it. As a matter of fact, while you're watching, email a question to helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. You'll get one free month of our Insiders program. And DeRosa Insiders is an awesome community of real estate investors. It is a private Facebook group, and you guys can watch and learn as we grow as a company. And you can also come and join us live for certain live events that are insiders only. We just had an insiders only event at one of our properties in North Carolina, and it went off awesome. To talk more about that and to talk more about insiders is my partner in crime on Mentorship Monday, Justin Frazier. Come on in, Justin. How are you today?
Hey, what's happening, man?
What's up, man? What's up, buddy?
Monday, I'm happy. Hey, if you're watching right now, leave us a comment, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube. Say hello. We want to hear from you guys.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Lots of people watching.
Yeah, lots of good stuff. And to build on what you just said, Matt, I mean, we had our biggest insiders benefit last week. Yeah. Because finally we felt like, okay, maybe we can sneak outside a little bit and put something together. We've, from the very beginning, wanted to do in-person events, and unfortunately COVID has gotten in the way. But last week, all of our insiders were invited out to tour our latest acquisition, $18.5 million project. They got to meet the property management team, meet us, walk through the property, talk about what we should do, give us input, give them input, and we had a really great time. And so I think that a lot of people got a lot of benefit out of that, and you can only do that. You can only join us if you're an insider or an investor in the DeRosa Group. So it's a cheap investment to go get, and we did some really great networking and had a nice private event. So it was awesome, and the feedback we got from people was incredible. So I know we're going to do that again. Yeah.
So we'll be doing a lot more face-to-face events. We got Sean, we got Hone, and a few other people here watching. Welcome, guys. Listen, we got another announcement, and then we've got then we're going to get to the show.
A lot of announcements today, man.
To get to the guests. Well, this is an exciting one because we're launching a new program here on YouTube, which is going to be I've kind of realized that the real estate company, there is the mom and pop real estate investor, which is fine. It's the husband and wife team, and there's ways to be successful there. But the company that's growing and expanding as real estate investors, there are 4 active seats on the bus. I'm the money guy and the ones that raises the money and the one that kind of keeps everything together. You are what I call the hammer, Justin, because at the end of the day, there are nails that need to get hammered on a regular basis on these properties. And there's a lot of management of the managers and a lot of driving of the business plan. And there's somebody called the brain who builds that business plan. They take the deal, they underwrite it. That's the technical term for that role, but that's the person that thinks out the business plan for the process. But none of these things would exist without a deal. And the person that finds that deal is your market hunter. And the market hunter is the one that drives in and gets to know the market, parachutes in and gets to know the brokers, the markets, the dealers, the wholesalers, the property managers, everyone that's active in that space. The market hunter gets fully integrated with those folks so that when deals come up, the market hunter is able to strike and say, hey, listen, this is a great deal. We're gonna lock it up. They bring it over to the underwriter and we're off to the races from there. And we've been super excited. We've had a great market hunter on our team who just landed a 336 unit for us that we closed on a few weeks ago. I hear he's got a few more things in pipeline. When we were down in North Carolina, I think he walked 14 sites in a day. And so his name's Hervé Francois, and he's got an awesome show concept that we're going to be doing on Thursdays. What's up, Hervé?
Hey,
what's up, man?
Matt, Justin, good to see you. Great to be here.
Matt said you tried to bring you in, but that was my cue. That was my cue. Okay.
So yeah, right. So Hervé, man, listen, well, you and I, have been talking about this concept for a while. There's a lot of markets across the U.S. and we are a focused company. We only invest, we're very disciplined, only invest in a few markets. But as you and I have already discussed, that's not because there's only 2 or 3 good markets in the U.S. that are worth investing in. That's so that we can scale and build out a asset portfolio in certain markets, because it makes Justin's life more effective, not just easier, but also makes it more effective for him to be able to manage a group of assets in a certain city. But that doesn't mean that there's not great cities out there for other folks to invest in. And we want to highlight those markets. So tell us a little bit more about the show you've got the coming up here. And Justin, can you pop it's probably going to squash me out, but you can pop the logo up here. And Hervé, tell them briefly about the show.
For a second, I'm popping up the logo because we're going to do something fun when our guest comes on. So let's just get into it here real quick.
Okay. All right, Hervé, tell them real quick, because the guest we have today, we teed up for you because it's right in line with the Market Hunter conversation. So tell us briefly what the show is going to be all about.
Oh, perfect. I appreciate it, guys. And thanks for having me on today. So, no, absolutely. Real pumped up, excited to have the show. It is basically Market Hunter Thursdays with Hervé. And we're going to be just bringing on random guests. It's going to be, we're going to have commercial brokers. We're going to have property managers. We're going to have investors that really know the market of investing, particularly for multifamily investing. We're going to drill into these cities. They're not going to just be cities that the DeRosa Group itself focuses on for its own multifamily. We're going to be going East Coast, West Coast, Midwest, North. We're going all over the place. And you'll see my logo. We don't, when we go ahead specifically and we target markets, we don't use a broad fishing net. We use a bow and arrow, right? We're very, very specific into the markets that we target. But we know that not everyone is like that. We know everyone doesn't target the same markets that we do. So we want to open this up. I can't wait to show you the cities that we're going to be bringing. We're going to be kicking off this Thursday. I'll give you a little insight. The first city we're going to be discussing is Lexington, Kentucky. But we got some nice cities lined up for you every Thursday at 12 p.m. after that. And again, drilling down to what's going on in that market. Why is it so interesting or maybe not so interesting for multifamily investing? What are the growth drivers? What do you see really taking place? What are some of the inflection points occurring over the next couple of years? And what do you like to eat and drink? What are the restaurants you like to go to? I mean, come on, let's get a mushroom mellow and all this other stuff.
The best food. What's the best food you got in town? That's a great. I haven't thought of that. I would ask these guys. So, what's the best food in Orlando? Like, what's everybody eat?
Hey, right. You know where to take them when you go, right?
That's right. That's right.
Listen, I just want to say another benefit for DeRosa Insiders, by the way, is that show, Hervé's show, is going live just to insiders in the first week. So if you have questions and you want to participate in the show with Hervé, you must be a DeRosa Insider. You can ask your questions of the broker, and it'll make it in. Hervé will ask it on your behalf. It'll make it into it. If you're not a DeRosa Insider, you have to watch the recording on YouTube a week later. So you get your information a week later, and you don't get to ask your question live with the broker on the call. So join Insiders is another benefit that you get. And just do this. Just text DeRosa to 668.
Like you do.
So listen, what we're going to do, Matt and I, we're going to bring out our guests. Matt and I are going to jump on out of here, and we're going to give you guys a quick preview of Hervé's first show. Hervé is going to do this live as part of Mentorship Monday because Javon's got a question. But hey, Javon, welcome to the show, man.
What's up, Javon?
Thank you. What's going on, guys? Pleasure to be here on this Mentorship Monday with you all.
We appreciate you being here. Javon is one of our insiders and had a question about brokers and building relationships. And I said, this is perfect. The stars are aligning because we've got our guy, we've got a new show. So it really works out well. So Javon, I'm going to let you ask your question. Matt and I are going to jump. Everyone stay tuned. The branding is going to change real quick as a little preview for what you're going to see on Thursday. Matt, anything before you drop?
No, get after it, man. We'll be back. We'll add some more insight to Javon's question in a second here, but let's Hervé have at it. Go ahead.
Hey, Hervé, pleasure to meet you, brother.
Hey, Javon, likewise, man. So glad that you're on the show today. Let's get into it, man.
Cool, man. So this is perfect. So I want to ask you, how do you establish a relationship with brokers in your target market?
Hey, Javon, listen, that's a good question. And it's something that I had to learn the hard way because there's no real easy way for it. But I'm more than happy to share with you my experience that I found really effective. And to be honest with you, there's no secret sauce. There's no premium subscription to this. At the end of the day, it's really old fashioned in regards to getting out there and having a face-to-face meeting with your broker. Now, I know it might be a little bit more difficult during these COVID times, so you might have to rely a little bit more on phone calls and Zoom calls and so on and so forth. But to the extent that you can go out there, this is what I would recommend. Is to, once you've identified the market that you would like to go ahead and invest in, go ahead and identify not one, but a few properties in that particular market that you would be interested in purchasing. Whatever you're interested in, whether it could be single family, it could be obviously small multifamily, it could be mid-size or large multifamily, whatever your cup of tea is. Once you've gone ahead and narrowed down, let's say 2 or 3 properties that you would like, that you'd be real interested in purchasing, go ahead and put together almost like a little packet for them. Get a picture of that property, get the numbers down, show that broker that you have done your homework, that you're not just picking up the phone and saying, hey, do you have any interested off-market deals? They're never going to call you back. These brokers are absolutely overwhelmed, not only with individual investors, but more so with small, mid-sized, large real estate investment groups and even institutional buyers when you start talking about, Warren Buffett's team and things like that. So I would put together a little packet of the 3 or 4 properties in a particular area that you're interested in buying. Put the numbers together. Know that you understand the cap rate in that particular area, that whatever numbers were available for that property. If you found it online, whether you found it on Zillow, you found it on any of these other websites, LoopNet and so on and so forth, that at least you have an idea of what that particular property can go for, and bracket a price range in which you would be interested in at least beginning to have a negotiation with that buyer. At least if you bring your broker that level of information, then he or she is going to have an easier conversation when they pick up the phone and they call the owner of that property. Right. Because they're going to know that, hey, listen, you know what, this dude, Javon, he's not just like, some, rookie investor that just wants the list of all of my off market deals. This guy did his homework. Right. He knows the area. He's taken pictures of the area. He went to Google Maps. He took a look at some of the comps. He has an idea of how much he wants to spend on renovation in each of the units and so on and so forth. As you probably know, there's a lot of public information out there on real estate. So get as much as you can, get a good idea of the numbers. They don't need to be exact, right? You don't have to come and tell them, I'm willing to pay $1 million for this, but you don't need to tell them that. But you can bracket a range, show them that you've done the homework. And if they are willing to meet face-to-face, if you are willing to do that flight, or if not that flight, that long road trip that Justin and I had similarly did last week down in North Carolina, then go ahead and do so. And then you meet up with them. And then once you meet up with them, show them that information that you put together, they're going to take you that much more seriously, right? So it's doing something different than the majority of investors are currently doing, which for the most of them is picking up the phone and just calling the broker. And they're wondering why they're getting so many voicemails and they're not getting return calls from those brokers.
No, that was awesome. Thank you for that. That was deep. I like that.
Yeah.
I have follow-up questions, but I know you're going to get into it. I'm interested in watching your Market Hunter Thursday site.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
How do I put this offering packet together? All these other things. So I know,
right.
It's a lot to cover in there. You gave a lot of jewels.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And listen, man, I just want folks to succeed and do the best that they can. I'm going to go ahead and offer a lot of the best practices that I've incorporated in going out there and targeting properties. I mean, like Matt said, I was in North Carolina last Tuesday, drove around, visited 14 properties on my own. Only one of them was listed, 13 were off market. And I, to the extent that I was able to go ahead and tour a unit at one of those off-market listings, I went ahead and did so. I pretended to be a future tenant, straight up, and to the extent that I was not able to go ahead and tour a unit, then I just went ahead and drove the property. I would go to the leasing office. They would give me their brochure. Here's the square footage of our 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, and this is what the monthly rent, and here's the concessions that we're running right now for future tenants, and so on and so forth. Then I took a lot of pictures, obviously, right? And I went ahead and I sent them to our underwriter, and we just got to work on it. Well, guess what I did today? I went ahead and I called up a broker down there in North Carolina who knows of us, because we just completed the huge acquisition Matt was talking about, the residences at Diamond Ridge. And what I did with the brokers, because I put together a bunch of notes on all of these 14 properties that I visited, and I had a call with them, and because he knows us, it was easier for him to pick up the phone. But I told him, hey, listen, I visited these 14 properties, and we're real interested in, let's say, 5 or 6 of them. I'd love to get your feedback on all of them, but I think we're real interested in 5 or 6 of them. Can I establish a relationship with you in which you go ahead and reach out to those brokers? Because I'm thinking of, this is a successful commercial broker I'm speaking with, right? These guys, they just don't sit at their desk waiting for calls to come in, and then someone calls them and says, hey, I want to list my 200 unit property with you. They don't do that. If they get that call, great, but they don't do that. What they do, they're more proactive. They get to know who are the owners of all the multifamilies in the region that they cover, and they put them in their Rolodex, and they go after them on a weekly basis, bi-weekly basis, monthly basis. Do you want to sell? You ready to sell? What are you willing to do? I got some interested buyers, right? So that is in the manner that I approached him. I emailed him my list. He responds to me, hey, Hervé, this is outstanding. This is great. I'm going to call you tomorrow morning with feedback on all of these, and I'll let you know which owners I can reach out to let them know that they may have a potential buyer interested in your property.
Nice. So how did you find these off-market deals? Like, how did you find them prior to reaching out to the broker?
Well, that was just work that we did on our side, man. I mean, you have to have your investment criteria of what kind of properties that you really want to pursue, whether type A, type B, type C, number of units, what part of town. Again, you have to do a lot of market knowledge, understanding what side of the tracks of a particular city that you want to be in. And so what different tracks, we all know that, right?
Yeah,
so right. So once you get that down, then we just kind of filtered. And from there we filtered, okay, this isn't a part of town that we're interested in investing. We get the sense that this is a C-type property based on maybe the age, some of the pictures that we're able to see online, just doing a Google Maps search and going to, let's say, an apartments.com and putting in the address of that property, and they'll show you, pictures of the units inside and outside. Take a look at some of those comps, and just based on some of those filters, they say, okay, we were able to go ahead and narrow down, these are the 13 that we really want to go ahead and pursue, kind of a thing. Now, these are the 13 that we wanted to drive. Once I drove those 13, I was able to go ahead and narrow that list even further to about 4 or 5 properties. But the thing is, I will never know a market as good as a commercial broker that works that market, potentially even from that market, for the past 4, 5, 10 years. Right. So interestingly, I have broken down my list into, these are properties that we really want to pursue. These are properties 50-50. These are property not worth pursuing at all. Well, guess what? Once I sent him my list, he emailed me back right away. He goes, you know what? You do want to consider a couple of properties on your list that you had put under the category of not worth pursuing, because there's some interesting developments going on in this particular city. I said, okay, you're the expert. I said, I'm going to rely on you. I said, let's go ahead and take that off that category, those 2 properties, and let's move them up the list. Right. I wouldn't have known that had I not had that conversation with them. Right.
Yeah. And that's exactly the type of knowledge I needed, because I'm like, I know the broker is very important, but I'm just like, how the heck do you always hear establish a relationship with the brokers, right? Choose, maybe the top 5 or whatever brokers, blah, blah, blah. But you never hear, like, how the heck did you establish that relationship? So thanks you guys for
I had to come back in on that point, because wow. I mean, Hervé, what you just described, I hope everyone goes back and watches that again, because that is next level. I've never heard that on Bigger Pockets. I've never read that in a book. what you just said and that conversation with the broker, as far as here, like you did a lot of the heavy lift for him and you made his job easy, which guess what means he's going to want to make your job easy and he's going to go work for you. Right.
Absolutely.
So, you know, instead of, you know, Javon going to a broker and saying, hey, what do you have? Everybody's like, no, this is what I want. Go get it for me. And a broker can respond directly to that information.
Absolutely.
So good.
Absolutely. You always see like scripts, like they're like, hey, do this script, call the broker with this script. Well, that script's not going to work if you didn't give him any information, right? Like you said, he's busy. So that's like useless. They're not
it's the worst. I hear brokers complain that like they get multiple calls a week. I mean, thanks to Bigger Pockets and all the other organizations that are out there that are pumping real estate investing and also apartment building investing and some of the books and gurus that are out there, whatever. Everybody and their mama thinks that they can buy apartment buildings right now. So these brokers are getting multiple calls a week, but they can sniff out. They can tell the Hervé Francois versus somebody that just took a course over the weekend, right? Because Hervé Francois is not going to just call them up and say, hey, I want to buy an apartment building anywhere, anyhow, in the whole state of Texas or in the state of Kentucky or whatever. Doesn't matter where it is. Doesn't matter how big it is. 10 unit, 300 unit, doesn't matter. I want it, you know. They know they see through that, man. So don't call these people, don't call these brokers up without some criteria because they're not going to take you seriously. Okay, I'll put you on my mailing list. You'll just get the email that the other 3,000 people get, you know, when I get a deal. But if Hervé calls them up, it's like, hey, man, I want to buy this size, this, not that neighborhood, this neighborhood, right? You know, and I want to be this many units and I want to be around this price point or whatever. They might not call everybody when they have a listing, but they might call everybody with a lot of off the market stuff. Cause like, okay, he read this homework. Here's what he wants, you know, and it's next level. If you show up with a list of, and I've done my homework and here are the properties that meet my criteria.
And not even I've done my homework and looked online, but I've driven these and here's what I like about
Forget about it.
What I don't like about those.
Forget about it. Yeah.
If you're able to, you know, again, if you're going out of market, Javon, to look for that particular property, and the broker says, sure, Javon, I'd love to meet up with you. Obviously, if you can get down there the day before, travel the properties, and then meet up with that broker, boom, right? Because now you're saying, listen, you know what? This is my cherry pick list. I went to visit them. Here are the pictures of them. Yeah. This is why I'm interested in purchasing properties A, B, and C. Boom. You did your homework. And you made his job that much more easier. Her job that much easier.
Also underscore traveling to the market is key. Cause I've met people, you know, back when you could get out and about and stuff like that. I was at a conference and I was talking to this guy. I was like, I've really been trying to find a deal. Where do you want to be? Columbia, South Carolina. Right. It's like, I want to be in Columbia, South Carolina. I've heard good things. I want to invest there. And I was like, all right, man. Well, how many times have you been there? And he was like, I've actually never been there. You know? And I was like, all right, man, listen, we all got LoopNet. All right. Now you can get on LoopNet all you want and look for properties and wait for brokers to send you deals. But unless you go down, I mean, we didn't get really involved in Winston-Salem until you went down there and put boots on the ground, started walking it, met the property manager we use today, met all the brokers that are active in that market. Right. I mean, if brokers see you're willing to make the investment, put yourself on an airplane or drive down, whatever it is, and just go out for a cup of coffee with them, lunch, whatever, just sit and have a face-to-face. And you can still make this work with COVID. You know, I mean, you can't write it off because of COVID. Oh, no, I can't travel. You can figure it out. If you want a deal that bad, I would figure it out if I were you. We figured it out. Other people can figure it out too.
Right.
So
see, this is why DeRosa Insiders is so important. If these drills, like this drilled down, you know, it's not just stuff. It's like
we try and give real life tools, man. A few things, man. Let's see. Don emailed saying he's in the Chicago suburbs. Don, I want to just toss that out here. If you want to be considered by Hervé, no guarantees, but to be on the Hervé Thursday show, just pop us an email. Justin, what's that email address?
What is that email address? It's brand new. I got to check it here.
I know it was on the screen a second ago.
There we go. Here's the screen. We're gonna block Hervé.
Yeah, and I had it.
Hervé Thursday at DeRosaGroup.com.
Hervé Thursday at DeRosaGroup.com. If you guys feel like
I was trying to put my face in there because
okay. Here you go. Get it in there, Hervé. Let's see it.
Get down below.
There he is.
If you guys feel like you know a market in the U.S. and you want to be an advocate for that market, this isn't about like, this is just about sharing with Hervé the data for the market, why it's great, why you got to be careful in that market, why you got to be great in that market. Markets that are interesting, Chicago suburbs would be incredible. Don, so Hervé Thursday at DeRosaGroup.com, HERVE, Hervé Thursday at DeRosaGroup.com, and you'll get on the list to be considered to be on the show. Don is in, man. It sounds like Don is going to pop that email over. Don, I hope to see you on the show.
That's great.
Love it.
Cool.
So listen, guys, this is really great. Hervé, if they want to catch it live, they've got to be a DeRosa Insider, and it's going to be this Thursday at noon. For everyone else who's going to watch on YouTube, it'll be our first episode will come out 1 week from this Thursday, 1 week after it's live on Insiders, and they can watch it there. And that will be on the DeRosa Group channel, this YouTube channel right here.
Yep. Either way, welcome to have you guys. Love you guys to be contributors to the show, because you guys all know, even if it's your backyard, and that's a great place to start about start investing. We've grown to the point where we're not investing in our backyard anymore, but there's deals to be had, acres of diamonds, and so consider your own backyard first. Consider being a contributor Hervé show, talking about wherever you live in your own market. If you feel like that market, the investing market, well enough, shoot us a line or come learn about I keep telling Hervé he needs to have Anchorage, Alaska on the show, because I'd love to hear what investing's like in Anchorage, Alaska. But we're going to be talking about, Hervé is going to be talking about phenomenal markets across the U.S. and just highlighting, all kinds of different places in the world that real estate investing can be successful. So watch it every week. You'll learn something. You'll get to meet, and Hervé is going to have market experts on the show, so you get to meet those folks too. It's going to be super exciting, and I'm pumped to see what's coming down the pipeline. That's it. The end. I'm done. Thursdays at noon. Thursdays,
Javon, we're going to have a lot of fun. It's going to be interactive. Javon, I hope it was helpful. I wish you have my email address. Please feel free to reach out anytime if you have any follow-up questions.
Hey, thanks, Hervé. Thanks, Justin. Thanks, Matt.
All right, Javon. Thanks, man.
All right.
Javon, going to drop you. Hervé, going to drop you. Matt, it was good, man. Really good. Love that kickoff for Thursdays with Hervé. I think it's going to be a great show for this channel. And already we're seeing a lot of value. This is one of our highest viewed Mentorship Mondays. And
I got one more shout out here, Sean. That's an awesome question, and I want you to join it live. Okay, so I would be doing you a disservice if I just read that question off and answered it. I'd love Justin, pop it on the screen. I'd love to. I want to answer that question because the concept of scaling up is an interesting concept. I want to talk to you about that. I want to talk to you about taxes and about scaling up and doing bigger deals, but I need you to send that to helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. Helpme@DeRosaGroup.com. I want you on the show so Justin and I can get into a deeper dive with you, because again, me just reading that off and giving you a 1-sentence answer is not going to give you what you need, because I want to talk to you more. I got questions for you. I want to talk that out. So helpme@DeRosaGroup.com, Sean. Shoot that out. And Cedric, our man Cedric, is going to be on this Thursday at noon to watch Hervé's Market Hunter Thursday with Hervé show.
Love it. Love it. Awesome. All right. Hey, this is another great episode, guys.
Go get it, guys.
Every Monday, email us, helpme@DeRosaGroup.com, so we can answer your questions. Ready to go?
Ready to go. Justin, Here we go. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great and profitable week.